Okay, please don't watch this video if you're comfortable with surds. This is a recap. So let's have a look at square numbers. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. Try filling these up yourself. Pause the video and complete all these numbers yourself. So 81, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, and 225. Okay, which of the, how do we estimate surds? You will need this when you need to compare things and making sure things like the hypotenuse is longer than the sides when you're checking your answer. So how do you look for this? So 27 is in between there, so we know that this is going to be 5 point something. 73 is right in there, so this is going to be 8 point something, and square root of 7 is all the way here. Whee! So our answer is going to be between 2 and 3, so 2 point something. Surds or not surds? So let's have a look at these values. Square root of 0 is just 0, so it's not a surd. Square root of 1 is just 1, so also not a surd. Square root of 100 with a negative is negative 10, so not a surd. Cube root of 4 is definitely a surd. It's a very ugly number on the calculator. Square root of 15, also a surd. And cube root of 8 is simply 2, so not a third. So surds are things that are irrational and the numbers don't have any patterns, the decimal points that is. Simplifying surds. Write the following in simplest surd form. So we have to break up the numbers, and just recapping from above, we can see that square root of 9 is 3, square root of, what's next, 16 is 4, square root of 25 is 5, forgot the square root of 4 up here is 2, and square root of 36 is 6. I think these will be enough for us. I think these are all the numbers we need to use. Okay, let's have a look. So we have here 18. We can break out the two numbers, and we know the square root of 9 is just 3, and then 3 square root of 2. We can't do anything with that. That's a third. 56. So what numbers fit in 56? Well, we can think of, we can divide it by 2. Then we get 25, 28, and it's still even. So it's definitely divisible by 4. So 4 times, let's just do a 3 factor. 2 is 28. Then we have 2 is 14. And then we have 2 and 7. So we have 4 times 14. So now we know that square root of 4 is just simply 2. And then square root of 14. And we're done. 96. It looks like we can put, what numbers can we fit in 96? Let's break 96 up. So it fits 3, we can see that, which is 32. Now what can we fit in 32? That is 8 times 4, which is 4 times 2. So we have that, and the 6 we can't do anything. So we can write that as 4 times 4 is 16 times the 6. So now we have 4 root 6, because 16 is 4, and you can't do anything to with 6. Now this one, don't worry about negative, leave it outside. What do we have? 15 times 4. Now the 15 you can't break up, so put it over that side, and the 4 becomes a 2. So square root of 15 doesn't do anything, just leave it. The next one, this looks a little bit tricky, but it's actually not that bad. So, oops, let's have a look. How would you write a decimal into a fraction? 1/4, which is square root of 1 over square root of 4. We know square root of 1 is just 1, and square root of 4 is just 2. And it makes sense because 1 squared is equal to 1/4. So square root of 1/4 is a half. 3 root 2, 20. So let's have a look. 20 is 4 times 5. Again, 4 is one of our square numbers. So now we can take the 4 out. The 4 now becomes a 2. Keep the 5 in the square root because we can't do anything to it. So now we have 6 square root of 5. Write these as a single third and then evaluate. Okay, so 27 times 2 is 54, square root of 54. 54 is, I think we've done this before up here. Let's have a look. No, we didn't. 54. Oh. Okay, square root of 54. So if you don't know what to do, you... Okay, so we have 54, square root of 54 when we join them together. So that becomes 9 times 6. So we have square root of 9 is 3, and you can't do anything to this 6, so we'll leave it like that. So for this one, what do we have? I like to put a giant square root. Instead of working it out, you can break them up. So we have 3 times 2 for the 6, and then we have 2 times 2 times 2 for the 8, and we have the last one, 3. In this case, we get, let's see what repeats. 3 times 2 and 3 times 2 repeats, and also that 2 and that 2. So in other words, we have a perfect 3 by 2 by 2 square, which is just 3 by 2 by 2, which is 12. Now, if you worked it out, 6 times 8 times 3, you would have gotten, well, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 8 is 144, which is, the square root of that is 12. Also the same answer. But this is a neat trick, so you don't have to multiply big numbers. So remember, square root of 9 is 3 because square root of 9 is 3 times 3. So every time you see something repeat, it comes out. So see here how it repeats? That repeats with that, so that number will come out. So we'll look at this one. So you can join a big square root over it and realize that square root of 64 is just 8. So let's... Okay, so we can put this over a big giant square root and treat it like fractions. So we have 2 times 5. Now we notice that both of these are divisible by 5. 5 goes there once, 5 goes there 6 times. Now the 2 and the 12 also cancel. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 12 goes 6 times. So now we have the giant square root. 6 times 6 is 36. Square root of 36 is just 6. Okay. So that is revision for thirds. And then we had this sheet over here to remind us how to rationalize the denominator. Okay, thanks for watching.